You have to understand that your body is equipped with what it needs to heal and to thrive, if given the right inputs. Hi everyone, welcome back for another video. How is everyone doing today? Take a moment and check in with yourself before we really dive in to the content for today's episode. So we'll start with a quick breath in and a quick breath out. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. So a quick channel update. After trying out a few different video formats, I think I'm going to primarily share content like this, sit down chat style, solo podcast vibes, where I share a lot about what I've learned, what I've researched while on my holistic health journey, as well as, of course, promise I'll be spilling my own tea. There'll be plenty of that. I feel like I have learned so much over the last few years, and trust me, I have been constantly talking to anybody and everybody that will listen to me in my personal life about how they need to incorporate holistic habits, how they need to eat more cleanly, how they need to pay attention to what's going on with their body. And it only makes sense that I share this more broadly. I feel like so much of what I learned isn't even common knowledge. Constantly when I'm reading books about holistic wellness or taking care of our body, I'm like, why isn't this spoken about more broadly? Why don't people talk about this? Why isn't this something we're taught in schools? Why is this something that I need to go out and find and seek out for myself? It shouldn't be that way, and it shouldn't be that hard to share information that will benefit us in the long run. I also just feel like sharing snippets of my life or like trying to record morning routines or different things like that just didn't really come natural to me over the last week. I don't know, it almost felt like I was doing the things that I normally do, but it just felt a little weird to try to record it. I don't know, maybe that's just me being the shy girly that I still am, needing to work on that. So there's a chance that I could still share that in the future, but I think for right now, I am going to focus on sharing my message and what I've learned in this format, and then we can branch out from there. I will try to share cooking videos and videos about what I'm eating because that is very, very important and ties in quite directly with what I do want to speak about. I think it's so important to use food for its healing powers and view it in that light rather than just eating anything and everything that we want to eat. I think it's so important to view food as fuel and medicine. So we'll dive into that in future episodes. I actually am going to introduce a series here. You may have noticed that by the title of this video. It's going to be focused on transforming your gut health. That is a huge component of what I worked on over the last few years, and it's made a significant difference in how I feel and how I'm living. And so I want to share more about that and give you guys all of the tools you need to improve your gut health, feel better, feel more confident about what you have going on in your body. And there's so much that I can chat about on this. So I'm excited to yap. If you're excited to listen to me yap, I have plenty of things to talk about, and I am excited to dive in. In the future, I will share more on general holistic wellness, but I think this is a good starting point. And also, I just want to know if you guys ever see me looking down or looking in a specific direction, that's because I've jotted down some notes. I want to make sure that I cover everything that I have on mind for the general episode topic and make sure you guys have the best information possible from me. I also want to lead with a disclaimer that I am obviously in no way a doctor or a medical professional by any means, and I am just sharing all of this from my own personal experience and what I went through, what I learned, what worked for me, what didn't work for me. Keep in mind that the things that may have worked for me may not work for you, but they also might. It's important to really understand what's going on in your body, do your own research, listen to others and what they went through, and work with your team of providers to figure out what's best for you and your situation. All right, so with that all out of the way, let's get into the episode. So, like I mentioned earlier, I have been eating cleanly for some time now. I have been on my gut health journey and my holistic wellness journey for at least 2.5 years, I would say. And it took me at least 1 full year to fully transform my gut health. And it really did go full 180. It went from night and day. I was feeling terrible to feeling great and actually feeling positive about the life that I was living. And I'll actually get more into detail about my gut transformation journey in the next video. For this video, I wanted to focus more on how you can reset your gut health, especially since we're coming out of the holidays. Maybe you went out for New Year's, maybe you tried a lot of different foods during the holiday season, and some of us don't feel great after that. You put your body through a lot because it is a time to celebrate and be happy and socialize and do all the things. And it's important to start the year off strong and make sure that you feel your best going into 2025. So it's very timely to focus on 10 tips that I have for resetting your gut health and things that I have done whenever I don't feel too great to go back to my baseline and really give my gut what it needs to thrive. So we'll go ahead and get into my top 10 tips for resetting your gut health after the holiday season. You have to understand that your body is equipped with what it needs to heal and to thrive, if given the right inputs. For so long, we have just been under the same matrix, the same brainwash that whatever we're eating, whatever they're selling in the grocery stores is food and it is good for us. When in reality, a lot of the processed foods that we think are so normal and everyone eats them, they contain a lot of different ingredients and honestly chemicals that our bodies are not equipped to process and handle. If you wake up in the morning and you're eating popular cereals like Frosted Flakes or Reese's Puffs, that is completely different from waking up in the morning and eating Greek yogurt topped with fruits and nuts. So it's really important to reframe your mindset and figure out, okay, what am I putting in my body? Is it actually good for me? Is it actually doing what it's supposed to do? Does my body like this? Asking yourself questions like that can help you make decisions when you go to eat something or when you're going out and you're like at a restaurant. Start reframing your mind to think about what is actually good for your body and how can you better take care of it. My first tip is to take a break from the alcohol. There are no lies when it comes to dry January. It's very important to take a step away from drinking, especially if you had a lot of drinks during the holiday season and there was a lot going on. Alcohol is a negative input for the body. It negatively impacts different systems. It has to be processed by your liver, and it is likely being recognized as a toxin more so than anything else. And so obviously, if you want to have alcohol and have a drink here and there, that is okay. But what I am saying is learn to take different breaks as time goes on. And the break that is very important at the start of the year is taking a break from alcohol. You may even realize that you can have fun without having alcohol. And that is possible. I went, I think like 6 months or so without drinking, and I felt great. And on top of that, I learned you don't actually need to drink alcohol to have a good time. But that's besides the point. The point that I'm making here is that when you go through a few weeks period of drinking a lot of alcohol and staying up late and all of that, that compounds negatively for your body. You want to give it a break to reset and heal, process those toxins out of your body. Then moving forward from that period, try not to have drinks every day or every week. Try to space them out. If you want to have a drink here and there, that's okay. I do believe that everything is okay in moderation, but having a drink every day, for example, can be really negative for your health and your overall body optimization. All right, tip number 2 goes along with something else I mentioned in a previous video during my morning routine. But when you go to drink your water in the morning, add fresh lemon juice to it. That is super beneficial because it helps with processing the toxins out of your body, and it also generally promotes hydration. And hydration is essential for digestion and nutrient absorption in your gut health, and it overall also just stimulates digestion itself. It's a great way to start your day off. It gives your digestive system that jolt, that awakening, gets it ready for everything that you're about to consume during the day. Also, it's important to use lemon juice from an actual lemon. Don't get the lemon juice that comes in a bottle, because oftentimes that has added preservatives, natural flavors, and other things that don't actually need to be in it. And I'm pretty sure it's actually cheaper to just buy a lemon. My third tip is also related to lemon, and it's drinking ginger and lemon tea during the day. So I'm a big fan of ginger because it is an anti-inflammatory food. So it's gonna help with that. It's also gonna help soothe any digestion discomfort, any nausea that you might be experiencing. So it's probably really great to have ginger and lemon tea maybe the day after you went out partying or you had a drink or you were celebrating with friends. It really is gonna help with the added nutrients and anti-inflammatory fighting benefits. And that's gonna help overall heal and help your gut reset. And again, I'm gonna plug for using the natural ingredient rather than trying to get it in popular tea bags or getting the bottle forms of things. Just try to go and get the ginger root, go and get the actual lemon fruit and use those. I, again, think that it's a lot cheaper to do it that route than trying to buy it pre-made, because you don't know what else they're putting in it, especially if they call it natural flavors. Nobody knows what that means, so you want to try to avoid those too. My fourth tip is eating whole foods and focusing more broadly on diversifying your plate, eating cleanly, eating things as close as possible as to how the Lord intended you to eat it. You shouldn't be reaching for a bag of chips. You should be reaching for the potato, or you shouldn't be reaching for cake. If you are feeling like you want something sweet, figure out how you can make something sweet using natural ingredients. I love using dates, for example, to sweeten things. I try to avoid anything with added sugar. You want to try to give your body the natural ingredients and the natural fuel that it is used to and what it actually wants, because that is what's gonna help power your cells, power your gut health, power your microbiome, because it actually knows how to process whole foods and natural foods. It doesn't know how to process the lab-made foods that we're so used to eating. So you want to try to avoid that. And when I say diversify your plate, I mean make it colorful. I mean make it balanced. Have your complex carbs, have a healthy handful of protein, fill it up with veggies. You can get your carbs from a lot of different sources. For example, fruits. You can get it from beans and legumes. You can get it from potatoes. I in particular really like sweet potatoes. The important thing is to make sure your plate looks colorful and make sure it is balanced. You also want to include healthy fats like avocado, olives, olive oil, nuts. As long as you are balancing your plate and making sure that you are seeing the rainbow when you're eating, I promise you, your body will thank you, because that is fuel that it recognizes. Instead of giving it boxed mac and cheese or pre-made frozen meals, you want to opt for cooking your food, balancing your plate, and making sure you're using simple ingredients, especially if you're trying to reset your gut health, because it's likely out of whack, not really knowing how to process things if you've been giving it a lot of bad things for X amount of time. And so starting from scratch, starting from zero, getting to the baseline of what your body's actually used to is definitely going to help you in your gut health reset and in the long run. Tip number 5 is related to that, and it is to limit eating out. I know, that's a tough one. Trust me, it is. But it is very important because yes, you can read reviews and you can make sure the restaurant is highly rated and has lots of different options. That's what I do whenever I want to go out. But you don't actually know what they are cooking with. And sure, you could ask them. You could call the restaurant, you could try to speak to the chef, ask what oils are they using, what ingredients are they actually using. But are they actually gonna tell you the full story? I've definitely heard stories where someone will say they use olive oil in their cooking. And then people investigated that further and found out that that olive oil was actually mixed with canola oil and sunflower oil and all this other stuff. And it wasn't actually just straight olive oil. So you don't actually know what they're using to prepare your food. And to be safe, just take a break from eating out. I'm sure your bank account will thank you, your body will definitely thank you, and you'll actually realize it becomes easier as you go on. You'll get more comfortable in the kitchen and cooking your meals. You will learn to enjoy the process. Go ahead and romanticize that. Look forward to cooking your meals and creating a beautiful plate. Look forward to what you're eating. You can make a delicious meal at home. You don't have to go and find delicious meals outside and at restaurants. You can do that yourself. All you have to do is go and see what ingredients you have, or if you're really craving something, look online, figure out how to make it yourself. It's really not as hard as we think it is. My husband and I were really craving pizza the other day, and instead of going out and ordering the pizza, we thought, why don't we try to figure out how to make it at home? And so I'll try to insert a clip here to show how we did that, but I think it actually turned out really well. We really enjoyed the pizza, and you know what? We enjoyed it 10 times more because we actually made it ourselves and we realized that was possible. So definitely consider that. It will help you in your gut health reset, just generally understanding what you're putting in your body, and you can go from there. Tip number 6 is start replenishing your sleep bank immediately. During the holiday season, it's so easy for us to stay up late and say, oh, it's the holiday season. We can stay up. It's okay. We'll start over in January, going to sleep on time, waking up on time. That's completely okay. We all go through that. Get back onto your regular sleeping habits as soon as you possibly can. And if you don't have good sleeping habits, start creating those good sleeping habits, because sleep is so important. It's the time when your body is flushing out toxins, processing toxins. It is repairing, it is healing during that time of rest. We do so much during the day. We're always constantly going, constantly moving. Our brain is thinking about so much. We're getting a lot done. So during the nighttime is when your body starts to repair and starts to heal. In particular, during the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. is the peak time of repairing and healing for your body. And so you really want to focus on going to sleep at a reasonable hour, ideally before 10. I know that's hard, but you want to try to maximize as much of that healing time frame as you can while you're sleeping. So that is going to help with repairing your gut health. If you are getting quality sleep, you're staying asleep for a long amount of time, you're getting 7 to 8 hours, that's all going to be beneficial so that your gut cells can heal and repair. They can flush out the bad and help you improve overnight. Number 7 is drinking bone broth. So this one's in particular for those that eat meat in their diet. It's really good to include bone broth regularly because it helps boost collagen, it supports repairing your gut lining, and in general, bone broth tends to have a lot more new micronutrients than regular beef broth or chicken broth or stock. You want to look for the broth boxes that say bone broth and then check the label, make sure it's simple ingredients. If they're adding spices or whatever, that's okay. And then make sure that it has protein in it. That's also another benefit is that when you add bone broth in whatever you're cooking, you're also getting an added kick of additional protein. But I really like bone broth. I tend to make it with like soups or chili bowls, things like that, where it's complimentary. I personally cannot just drink it straight, although I do know certain health gurus do recommend that you drink it straight, almost like a cup of tea. But I'm not ready for that because personally I don't like savory drinks. All right, tip number 8 is eating fiber-rich foods. And I say this with a disclaimer that if you are not used to drinking or eating a lot of foods with fiber, then take baby steps. Introduce it little by little into the meals that you are making or the drinks that you're drinking. Because if you overload your gut with too much fiber all at once that you are not used to processing, I guarantee you are not going to feel good. I made that mistake, and so I want to make sure you guys don't make that mistake. I learned that chia seeds were amazing for you and they were full of fiber, and I was like, oh, okay, let me load up my breakfast yogurt bowl with that. And I did not feel good. I also did not feel good after making chia seed pudding, and that's just because my body was not used to eating that much amount of fiber all in one sitting. So you want to start by including it in baby steps and work your way up as you realize that your body can tolerate it. That's the best way to do it. Otherwise, you're just going to mess things up even worse. So what you can do is you can start by eating raw vegetables. You can eat more fruits, especially apples with the skin on. The skin has a lot of fiber. A lot of the different fruits that you're used to do tend to have more fiber on their skin, so just consider that if you're able to eat the skin. That is a good way to get it. I did mention chia seeds. Chia seeds are great, but start with a little bit and then work your way up and see how you tolerate it. There are lots of different foods with fiber in them. Nuts, beans have fiber. And so just taking a look at the nutrition label and understanding what's in the food that you're about to eat, and then figuring out, okay, how much of this can I tolerate in this time, and then working my way up to the amount of fiber that we all should be consuming. One thing that I thought of while talking about this was Olipop sodas. Olipop is my preferred soda if I am wanting soda and wanting to fulfill that craving, because it does have fiber in it. Now, it has about 9 grams of fiber, I want to say. So you want to be careful with that. And if you're not used to having fiber and you drink a whole can of Olipop with 9 grams of fiber in it, you might not feel great after drinking that. You especially won't feel great if you have 2 cans. So just being thoughtful about how you're consuming things. And if you are seeking to have fiber-rich foods, which are very beneficial for your gut motility and just generally helping to get things moving through your system, then you want to be thoughtful about whether or not you've been eating that regularly. All right, tip number 9 is supplementing your meals with probiotic-rich foods. And so those are your kimchis, your sauerkraut, your yogurts, things like that that have added probiotics or naturally have probiotics in them. That is going to be beneficial because those are natural probiotics that your body can recognize and process, and it'll be beneficial to your gut microbiome. So similar with fiber-rich foods, when you are introducing probiotic-rich foods, you again want to take the baby steps and start with little amounts to see how your body reacts to it and if your body can tolerate it. I say this again because if you aren't used to eating that normally, then you aren't gonna feel great if you just load your plate up with yogurt or sauerkraut. And so it's really important to just have a little scoop, test it out, and then you can build up your amount from there as you notice that your body feels good after having that small amount. And that's again going to build up your gut microbiome, which will in turn help reset and improve your gut health. All right, my last tip is just to listen to your body. Like I said earlier, your body is built to heal and repair itself. Your body can do all of those things when you give it the right inputs. It's really important to get in tune with your body, really understand what's going on, how you're feeling, how foods make you feel, how different products make you feel, how much sleep are you getting, different things like that. Once you get in tune with what's going on, what your inputs are, and how they make you feel, it's just gonna help you learn and iterate moving forward. That took me some time to really figure out and learn, because I was someone who, once I found something that I think works, I just keep using it and keep eating it over and over. I wasn't really focused on diversifying. Okay, let me try this food. Let me try this fruit. Let me try building my plate in this way. And once I really learned how to do that and understood how I was feeling after different things, then that's when I realized, okay, I know what's going on. I know how to heal my body when it doesn't feel right. The key here is just listening to your body, because it is speaking to you. When you feel symptoms, when you don't feel great, when you feel gross or bad or nauseous after eating something, that's your body telling you, maybe don't have that again. And that is a really important cue to listen to, because it is telling you what doesn't work for it. Another thing that can be really helpful here is trying to get detailed tests on what foods you're sensitive to, what your gut microbiome looks like, and different biomarkers in your body to really understand what's going on and to help you adapt and learn from there. Listening to our body and knowing what's going on go hand in hand. And so to the extent that you're able to get your hands on some of those tests, maybe ask your primary care provider to include these additional tests in your next annual checkup. That's just going to help you inform your decisions and know how to improve your health and optimize your body in the long run. And so with that, I think I will go ahead and end the video here. Those are my 10 tips for resetting your gut health, starting the year strong. We want to go into 2025 with good health, a great gut microbiome, great gut health, and we want to tackle the year feeling our best. And so I hope these tips help. If you guys found any of these particularly helpful or really resonated with you, please feel free to comment below and let me know what you think. If you have other gut health reset tips that I didn't mention in this video, please share them so we can all learn from each other. All right, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.